Hello everyone, my name is KelSounds, and today I want to try and make a sustained bass. So far I have a faceplant preset here, and I just want to show you guys really quickly what I have set up inside of this preset. Okay, so I have my effects group, I have a gain to lower down the highs of our sound, and then I have another group with a filter to cut the low end around 300 Hertz. And so this cutoff up here is actually controlling this filter, which is a a bandpass with a narrow peak and a high Q, and then it is also controlling our frames for our wavetable. So it sounds like this. And so yeah, we're just gonna try and make a bass, and yeah, let's just dive right into it. So I think I'm just gonna loop this part. I have the MIDI set to F0. That is my favorite bass note, F0. E0 is pretty good and D0 is pretty good, and so is G0, but I like setting my basses in F0. It's just high enough up there where you can like kind of hear it, not really on phone speakers too well, but if I needed to, I could either just layer some stuff on top of it or maybe even distort it with a distortion or a shaper. But yeah, anyways, let's just go ahead and get started. So we're gonna call this the I'm just going to call it the highs. I'm going to call this group the modulator group. And I have the phase modulation going all the way up. Pretty drastic, actually. I like it around like 20%. Ooh, 19% is pretty nice too. And this wavetable was actually a snare. I dragged and dropped a snare, and then I went ahead and highlighted the whole wavetable, hit effects, and did dispersion a whole bunch. You know what? Just for the heck of it, why not? Let's do it again. I'm going to select a certain part of the snare wavetable here. There's just so much going on, so many harmonics. I'm going to hit effects and click disperse. And then we are going to set the amount by 100% and the mix by 100%, and then I'm just going to hit done. The really cool thing about like highlighting a certain part and adding effects is that you can see it happening on the wavetable, and you can even play it back. So if I increase the amount, wait a minute, why am I, okay, whoops, my bad. I don't know why I was messing with the frame of the wavetables. I'm actually going to mess with it through the cutoff. Yeah, there we go. I'm actually not going to add that. I'm just going to hit cancel. Also, another cool trick I want to show you guys really quickly before we mess with the rest of the sound. I didn't know, as when I was messing with the wavetable the other day, I found out this very first harmonic or sine wave of our wavetable. So of course these are all the sine waves that make up our sound, but this very first one is actually our DC offset. So if I have it all the way up, it's going to completely shift our sound into the positive range here of our sound, and if I shift it all the way down, it's actually going to remove the DC offset. It's going to have the wavetable being played evenly on the zero line of our wavetable, which is really cool. Even if I shift the offset of our whole wavetable, and I go to fixes and I click on remove DC offset, as you can see, this line is all the way down. And so yeah, I don't know, I never really noticed that before, and I wanted to show you guys. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's get started on our sound. We have our effects, we got our gain. I think I'm going to add another snap heap, do some parallel processing with a filter table. I love messing with filter table. Turn up the frames all the way, then turn the resonance up, do parallel. And I think I'm going to just call this frequency, and that's just going to be controlling the cutoff of our wavetable. Okay, sweet. Then I'm just going to add that to our cutoff macro knob over here. Turn the cutoff all the way down. And I'm going to put that before the dynamics just so it can bring the sound closer together and make it more consistent in volume. And honestly, I think that's all that I'm going to do. Yeah, inside of this first snap heap is 2 dispersers and a distortion. And then, of course, this filter I was showing you guys earlier, a 3-band EQ turning up the highs by a whole lot. And then the snap heap that we just added. Then I added a dynamics for consistent volume. I don't know if I showed you guys those effects before I started the video, but yeah, that's what's there. So now that we have our highs, I'm going to go ahead and send this to lane 3, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is also sending to lane 3. And so lane 3 is going to be our post FX. And yeah, I think I'm satisfied with what's going on with the highs. I think just for funs too, I'm going to even add a noise as a layer group, just so we can have more highs going on. You know what? Since we have that 3-band EQ turning up the highs, I'm going to add this, but I'm going to send it to lane 3. I'm going to turn it off. And then if we need it, I'll turn it back on. Then I'm just going to turn down the gain a little bit more. And then now I'm going to add another new group and call this sub. Make it a wavetable, add a envelope, and send it to lane 2. And then for lane 2, I'm just going to add a filter. Set the cutoff to 250 hertz, and then I think I'm also just going to distort it. I might just do it inside of the group, actually. So I'm going to add a distortion and a mix, just so I can see what's going on with our signal. Oh, well, I guess I can kind of see it right here. And then as I'm turning up the cutoff, I kind of want it to shift the pitch of our sine wave and the highs of our sound a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this group up again. Going to click on semi-sent, right click, and set it to 3. Okay, maybe a little bit more, so I'll set it to 5. That is very strange. It sounds like a phase cancellation or like Reese bass. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so maybe... Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't really tell you what's going on there. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, so maybe I'll just do it for the sub, because I kind of don't want that effect. But it's like doing a Reese bass effect. That is very interesting. So yeah, I'm just going to do it on the sub. Semi-sent, hit 3. Let's see, what about 2? It's very subtle, but I just want a little bit of movement, honestly. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the post-processing. I think I'm going to add another new group and just call this post-processing. Going to add a shaper and just distort it a little bit. You can even hear it a little bit without me messing with the pitch of our sound. As I turn up the distortion. Let's see, I'm just going to turn this sub down a little bit. I like adding a OTT on our post-processing, so I'm going to grab an OTT, turn up the end gain, and just slowly turn up the mix. Actually, let me put an LFO down here, modulating the cutoff. Have it at 4/16, let's see. Alrighty, I'm going to add a slice EQ to kind of clean up our low end. Zoom out of this. I think I am going to introduce that noise, so I'm going to add another modulator. Oops. And do an LFO. Turn the rate up all the way. Wait, you know what? No, hold on. Let me grab a mix instead. Turn this all the way down. Have this modulating the level. Turn this back up. And then have this first LFO modulating the gain. Sweet. Okay, there we go. Going to cut around 250 hertz, since that's where the muddy frequencies are. Then I can just go ahead and push the OTT a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and add another dynamics, do some light compression. Okay, and then I think the last thing I'm going to do is grab a limiter and just boost the end gain a whole bunch. And actually, I kind of want to add a little bit of stereo to the highs, so to do that, I am going to add another snap heap with parallel processing, add a flange, turn up the, well, let's see, I'll turn the rate down, turn down the gain a little bit, and mess with the depth. Leave the spread the way it is, maybe even turn up the feedback a little bit. Let's just see what this is going to sound like first. What if we also added a delay inside of this snap heap? So I'm going to do it before. I'm going to add a dual delay, turn the rate down a bit, turn the feedback up, turn crosstalk and spread up. Or actually, no, turn down crosstalk and turn the spread up, and turn the mix up. And then just mess with the rate. And maybe I'll mess with the mix as well. Let's see, maybe I can add a filter in here as well. Then, of course, we can just turn this into audio. I can always just cut out the tail end of our delay. And that is our sound. I hope you guys enjoyed. Before I end the video, I just want to let you guys know that this is going to be available for my Sound Squad subscribers, so if you want to go ahead and download that, you can. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Adios.